From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Anne Waodo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, more than 2 billion Muslims worldwide celebrate Eid-el-Kabir, honoring Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice in obedience to God. President Bola Tinubu joins Muslims in Eid celebration, urges Nigerians to pray for troops on the front line. And US President Donald Trump says Elon Musk has lost his mind, rules out meeting with the Tesla CEO. In our business, Nigeria's stock market gains nearly 2 trillion naira in 4 trading sessions this week as its key indicators hit fresh highs.
On sports news tonight, Nigeria Super Eagles forced the boys of Russia to a draw in a sold-out 78,000 capacity stadium in Moscow in the first official meeting for both countries at senior level.
And from the nation's capital, Governor Moino of Akwa Ibom State officially announces his defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress.
Salah to Muslim faithful around the world, and of course our viewers celebrating today. And that's how we begin tonight, as Muslims worldwide commemorate Eid al-Adha, known as Eid-el-Kabir, one day after pilgrims converged on the Mount of Arafat in Saudi Arabia. Also known as the Feast of Sacrifice, Eid al-Adha originates from the historic event when Prophet Ibrahim was commanded by God in a dream vision to sacrifice his son Ishmael. In the act of sacrificing his son, God sends the angel Gabriel, known as Jibril in Arabic, with a huge ram. While most Muslims attend the special 2 rakat prayers held at major mosques throughout the world, wearing new clothes, and some even exchanging gifts. The event is a pivotal moment in Islamic history, demonstrating faith and submission. And for pilgrims exercising the 2025 Hajj, they have performed the stoning of the devil ritual, which is part of the last major ritual of Hajj. About 1.6 million of them who converged on Mina performed the ritual today, which is the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, commemorating Prophet Ibrahim's stoning of the devil at the 3 spots where Satan tried to dissuade him from obeying God's order to sacrifice his son. Our correspondent Salima Gayam has a report of the 2025 Hajj rituals.
Thursday, 9th of Zulhijjah at sunrise, pilgrims performing the 2025 Hajj pilgrimage mount the plain of Arafat. Adorned in white clothing, assembled from across the world and of different nationalities, ethnicities and cultures, but united as Muslims, supplicate to the Almighty Allah for forgiveness among other prayers. For some pilgrims from Nigeria, prayers are offered for the country's leaders, insecurity and poverty.
We have requested particularly for our dear leaders in Nigeria, for our dear country, the issue of the poverty going on, the issue of insecurity. And we have asked our pilgrims to beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever it is that we have done, that Allah has inflicted these things on us. We pray that we are forgiven, so that the Nigeria that we used to know can come back to the way it was before.
And we are urging all the pilgrims to pray for the country, to pray for their states, to pray for the leadership of the country, to pray for their relations, to pray for everybody back at home in the country for peaceful existence of Nigeria.
At the end of the day of Arafat, the most important ritual of Hajj, the pilgrims descend to Muzdalifah, praying under the sky overnight and gathering pebbles for the symbolic stoning ritual of the devil in Mina. Friday, 10th of Zulhijjah, pilgrims proceed to Mina to perform the fourth ritual, the throwing of the 7 pebbles at the big pillar of Jamarat. Weather at 41 degrees, indicating excessive heat, but pilgrims resiliently move to perform Rami al-Jamarat, the stoning of the devil, which symbolizes a rejection of negative traits and an affirmation of faith. The stoning ritual will continue in the next 3 days in the 10th city of Mina as residents continue their spiritual journey of Hajj. After the stoning, hair is trimmed, signifying the partial exit from the state of Ihram, after which the Qurbani, the animal sacrifice, takes place the same day, marking Eid-el-Adha. The experience is a fulfilling one, some of the pilgrims confess.
This is the first time opportunity I got this to visit Saudi Arabia to perform the Hajj. So this time it's a huge crowd, but still the Saudi Arabian government has facilitated the remarkable facilities all over to complete all the steps of the Hajj.
Allah bless us too very nicely. All pilgrims are surviving here. They are very nicely managed here. In Saudi Arab, and today is Jamarat day, and we are completing the Hajj.
The Eid al-Adha festival of sacrifice extends for the next 3 days. Then pilgrims will proceed to Mecca to perform the Tawaf, the circumambulation of the Kaaba. With a mood of spiritual reflection and a mix of awe and excitement in Mina, the greetings of Eid Mubarak also fills the air, conveying blessings and joy from one pilgrim to another. Hajj, the 5th pillar of Islam, is obligatory for capable Muslims, as these rituals exhibit a connection to Islamic history, spiritual unity and submission to Allah, providing pilgrims with a chance for spiritual renewal and personal growth. From Mecca, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Halima Gayam, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has asked Muslims to celebrate the Eid-el-Kabir with vulnerable and pray for the peace of Nigeria. He made the comments after the Eid-el-Kabir prayers at Dodon Barracks, Ikoyi, Lagos. He says that Nigerians must continue to pray for the troops on the battlefield fighting terrorism, imbibe the culture of caring for one another and making sacrifices for the growth of the country.
Muslim faithful, both young and old, are out early to observe the 2025 Eid-el-Kabir prayer at Dodon Barracks, Ikoyi, Lagos. The annual spiritual exercise is important to all Muslims, including President Bola Tinubu, who joins other dignitaries to give thanks to Almighty Allah for the privilege to celebrate this year's Eid-el-Kabir in good health. As the prayer session progresses, the message of unity and peaceful coexistence is echoed by the Chief Imam of Lagos.
The family of Prophet Ibrahim sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the father, the mother, and the child, stood in total obedience and trust in Allah. They were united, and Allah made them a symbol of unity. Nigeria must be one. We must rise above tribal and religious sentiment.
President Tinubu asks citizens to pray for troops fighting insurgency and love one another.
As we make sacrifices, we should remember to pray and give to those who are very vulnerable. In the spirit of peace, must come together, be one another's brother's keeper, give your neighbors, love everyone equally. We must pray hard for our troops who are keeping us safe, making the sacrifices in the challenges that we face in terrorism and banditry today. We must pray for them specifically, and we must remember their sacrifices and continue to be of good behavior.
Eid-el-Kabir represents the high point of the sacred first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, a period filled with opportunities for acts of worship and sacrifice, one that the chief imam believes must be obeyed for the benefit of the country.
My appeal to us as a nation, that for the nation to achieve any meaningful progress, we have to have that sacrifice. We must ensure and we must exercise patience. For us as a peaceful society, peaceful coexistence, we have to sacrifice something. There is nothing free in life. You have to sacrifice something. We pray that Allah will grant our nation peace and harmony, that Allah should continue to strengthen everybody, that we witness more of this in life.
Others are hopeful for a better country.
I wish Nigerians a very happy Eid. We pray that Lagos State will continue to progress, Nigeria will continue to progress, God will continue to strengthen the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Grant him strength to continue to steer the affairs of the nation in the right direction.
The message is of togetherness, primarily unity of the country, and to keep peace and believe in the aspiration of all Nigerians. Again, inshallah, everything will be okay.
As Muslims return home to celebrate with their loved ones, President Tinubu urges Nigerians to always remember the significance of Eid-el-Kabir, pray for the country, and believe in his administration's Renewed Hope initiative, which he believes will set Nigeria firmly on the path of sustainable development.
The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, also had some words for Nigerians. According to him, citizens must rally round President Bola Tinubu to enjoy the dividends of democracy. The Vice President made the call shortly after participating in Eid prayers at the Airport Road Prayer Ground in Abuja. He enjoins Nigerians to live a life of sacrifice by uniting to uphold the fortunes of the country.
From across the nation's capital, Muslim faithful trooped to the Airport Road and other prayer grounds to observe the Eid-el-Kabir congregational prayers. The Vice President is accompanied by the Minister of Information and other government officials as the Chief Imam of the National Mosque leads the congregational prayers.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
After the prayers, the traditional slaughtering of ram immediately follows. The celebration is a time for faithfuls to reflect kindness and commitment to the greater good.
Nigerians should continue to run away from sins. You cannot be killing ourselves and be seeking for Allah's blessing. It doesn't work out like that. You cannot be harming ourselves and be seeking for Allah's blessing. It doesn't work out like that. You cannot be endangering our lives and be asking Allah for blessing. It doesn't work out like that. We cannot be robbing ourselves, maiming ourselves, and be doing things that the other party will be offended without seeking for his forgiveness. And you think Allah will be happy?
What is the essence of the Salah and what lesson has it teaches us? That we are slaughtering ram. The Almighty Allah said in the Holy Quran that he is not awaiting the blood, he's not awaiting the bone, he's not awaiting the meat. But the essence of this is that maybe we may reflect that one day, as we are slaughtering the ram, one day we will die.
The lesson from here is that when we obey the leaders, we get good results. When we are doing other things, then we may not get the result that we want.
The congregants are asked to rally round the federal government in the interest of the nation.
Life is a marathon, and as individuals we can run faster, but we can wear out easily. But as a family, as a collective, as a nation, we can gain greater traction and reach our desired destination. I would like to call on all Nigerians to rally around the president for us to reposition our nation for greatness. What binds us together supersedes whatever that divides us.
As the Muslim faithful depart the various prayer grounds, they remain optimistic of a better future for Nigeria.
In part two, after the break, flood hits Mokwa residents in Niger State join global Eid-el-Kabir celebrations. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. More than 2 billion Muslims around the world celebrate Eid-el-Kabir, honoring Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice in obedience to God. President Bola Tinubu joins Muslims in Eid celebration, urges Nigerians to pray for troops on the front line. And U.S. President Donald Trump says that Elon Musk has lost his mind, rules out meeting with the Tesla CEO. We head over to the northern part of Nigeria now to find out how Muslims there celebrated Eid-el-Kabir. For them, overcoming the security challenges in Nigeria, especially in their region, is top on their prayer points. The faithful, including state governors, gathered at prayer grounds across the region, praying for peace, which they consider as a necessity for growth and development.
Muslims across northern Nigeria converge on various prayer grounds very early in the morning to perform the Eid prayers as they mark Eid-el-Kabir celebrations. The Sultan of Sokoto joined other Muslims for the prayers at his palace as he commiserates with the victims of the Mokwa flood disaster. Allahu Akbar, State governors join other faithful to offer the 2 rakat prayers. They pray for the peace of the country.
We urge our citizens to continue to be in peace, create unity and progress among ourselves, and to use very important day of sacrifice for us, particularly politicians and elites, to see that we do enough and sacrifice.
A sense of selflessness, love to one another is demonstrated both in our speech and action. I wish to call on the people of Bauchi State to use this festival to strengthen the bonds of unity, togetherness.
The governors also prayed for the administration of President Bola Tinubu.
And as a government, like I said, we'll continue to run our state, bringing everyone to the table, irrespective of religious or political or even ethnic affiliation, because we believe with unity and peace, development can be possible.
Let me also advise our people that are currently staying in flood-prone areas, the communities that are flood-prone, to please move to places that are not higher density places, so that we'll guard against flooding. We all see what happened in Niger just recently.
They also urge the people to continue to pray for the nation's leadership to do more to ensure Nigerians feel the impacts of governments.
And in the southern part of Nigeria, political and religious leaders are calling for unity, sacrifice, and renewed commitments to peace and progress in the region and across Nigeria.
The Eid-el-Kabir is a joyous event for Muslim faithful around the world, and in the southern region of Nigeria, the joy is no different. In Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, Muslim faithful gather at the Lantoro prayer ground to observe the festival. Among those in attendance are former Governor Ibikunle Amosun, Nigeria's former envoy to the United Kingdom, Sharafa Ishola, as well as Senator Salis Shuaibu. Speaking on behalf of Governor Dakpo Abiodun, Senator Shuaibu appreciates residents for supporting the state government.
We still appeal to our people to show understanding, to continue to cooperate with government.
In neighboring Oyo State, Governor Sheyi Makinde hosts Muslim leaders led by the Deputy Governor of the state, Bayo Lawal, and the Otun Olubadon, Oba Rashidi Ladoja. The governor encourages the faithful to uphold Islamic values, stressing unity, tolerance, and love.
To all our Muslim faithful, and that we will have the opportunity to celebrate many more Salah.
Meanwhile, the governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebholo, through his deputy Dennis Idahosa, is calling for unity across religious lines as he urges Muslims to reflect on the lessons of Eid, sacrifice, obedience, and devotion to Allah. He made the call at a reception for Muslim Ummah at the government house in Benin City.
As we celebrate today, let us reflect on the lessons of this holy celebration, which includes the spirit of oneness, sacrifice, love for one another, and unity. Let us continue to pray for peace and prosperity of our dear state.
In his goodwill message to Muslims in Anambra State, Governor Chukwuma Soludo asks Nigerians to reflect on the lessons of Eid-el-Kabir, particularly those of selflessness and compassion. In Rivers State, the sole administrator Ibokete Ibas extends Eid al-Adha greetings to Muslim faithful, urging peaceful celebration and unity. He calls for prayers for continued peace and progress in the state and across Nigeria. In the meantime, worshippers at the Port Harcourt Central Mosque observed the 2 rakat prayers, while Chief Imam Mohammed Took uses the occasion to appeal to President Bola Tinubu to act swiftly on the economic hardship in the land.
My own advice to our leaders, especially our president, to look after the poor people. People are suffering. Please, people are suffering. We advise him and his followers all to look after the needy, please. But we are always praying for them. May Almighty Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to guide them and make them to look after their followers.
Muslims in Bayelsa State are not left out of the Salah celebration as the Deputy Governor, Lawrence Erujakbo, hosts them to an Eid al-Adha luncheon, personally serving guests in a show of humility, compassion, and leadership. The key lesson of the Eid-el-Kabir festival is sacrifice, and as the celebration continues, Muslim faithful have been reminded of the need to imbibe that lesson even beyond the festive period.
Let's continue the news at 10 now as we head over to Abuja studios where Terry Ikumi is standing by. Hello, Terry.
Hello. Hi, and thank you very much. We're staying with the Salah celebrations now. Residents of communities affected by the flood disaster in Mokwa town of Niger State have joined other Muslims across the world to mark this year's Eid al-Adha celebration. They, however, expressed mixed feelings as they recount their ordeal. Our correspondent Emperor Simon has been on ground monitoring the situation in the area and reports that with the houses and means of livelihood destroyed, the usual excitement that comes with the Salah celebration is visibly missing.
Undaunted by their present predicament, residents of Mokwa town in Niger State converge on the Zuko Eid prayer ground in the area for prayers. The chief imam of Mokwa town, Muhammad ibn Muhammad, led the worshippers to observe the prayers. In his sermon, shortly after the prayer, the Islamic cleric urged the people not to despair, but believe what has happened is the will of Allah. The traditional ruler of Mokwa says a special prayer will be held for victims of the flood disaster.
We are showing remorse because of our lost ones, and that is why we want to do a general prayer 9 o'clock tomorrow for all of them that departed.
Some worshippers share their feelings.
It's supposed to be a day of joy, but as God has ordained it, it happens and it has happened.
Away from the Eid ground to the site of the flood incident, the victims are still counting their losses, homeless and in distress. The tragic loss of over 160 people has left them in a state of mourning.
I have 2 students. One climbed a tree because he can't fit to pass the water. The tree come from land, the boy around, and the water carried the boy go. I don't see the boy. He have left.
For Abdul Momini Abdullahi, the memory of his 6 family members killed in the flood weighs heavily on his mind.
It's very, very unfortunate because losing your family is not easy, sir. And the situation, well, the government is trying with us, but that's Allah, we are just going to do it just like that.
But some say, despite what has happened, they remain grateful for life.
This thing will happen is from God. We know that. But this one, this Allah way is coming. No how, we do it.
At the temporary camp provided by the state government, food is served to the affected persons, courtesy of the goodwill of individuals and the Mokwa Local Government Council.
Since this thing has happened, we just want to motivate them and sympathize with them.
In place of meat, eggs are served, but the people are glad to have something to eat.
We
did not think we would get food to eat this Salah after what happened to us, but we thank God the government and kind-hearted individuals have come to our aid.
Although they remain grateful for life and the kind gestures being extended to them, this is not how residents of Mokwa town would have loved to celebrate the 2025 Eid-el-Kabir. The state government has cancelled all activities related to Salah, including Darbar and Hawan Bariki, which means that across Niger State, the 2025 Salah will be marked in a low key. From Mokwa town in Niger State, Emperor Simon, Channels Television News.
Such a sad situation. Well, still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's stock market gains nearly 2 trillion naira in 4 trading sessions this week, as its key indicators hit fresh new highs. That's on Business News. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the News at 10 live from Channels Television. Let's turn to politics now. The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Umoino, has officially defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress. Governor Eno made this known during an official announcement today at the Government House in Uyo, the state capital. The governor explains that the decision followed 3 months of wide consultations with critical stakeholders across the state, just as he expressed his gratitude to the PDP for supporting him while he was a member of the party.
Having completed the rounds of my consultation as your servant that you have elected to serve you, I have therefore decided to progressively move to the All Progressive Congress. And I'd like to say that coming from the PDP, I want to make it emphatically clear that we are not joining the APC from a position of weakness. We are joining the APC from a position of strength. We are bringing value to the All Progressive Congress in Akwa Ibom State. We are wanting to build back a party that has once been torn apart, where people go their different direction. We have come to the APC with a ministry of reconciliation, to reconcile all fronts and to work with you. We are joining the APC today because of our critical admiration and respect for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, and to provide the needed support for the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from the home base.
Our global attention shifted to Lagos, Nigeria, as the Gates Foundation brought its Goalkeepers event to Nigeria for the very first time. The gathering, which focused on accelerating progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, witnessed a convergence of global leaders, policymakers, innovators, and philanthropists. Our correspondent Chris Elams was there and now reports.
The atmosphere here at the Intercontinental Hotel Lagos is vibrant as guests arrive for the Goalkeepers event, which highlights the critical role of African nations in achieving global development targets by 2030. That energy moves to the hall as the choir renders a collection of great African tunes for a start. The Goalkeepers 2030 lives to its billings as various panelists key into the focus, Africa in motion, future of progress, beginning with discussion on scaling solution in AI and health.
I think the dominant fact is that AI is about people, not about technology. And if AI will serve the people, it must understand the people.
There are more inspiring stories from those who dared to live their dream.
Hungry kids can't learn, and lost days in classrooms mean lost potential. Today, Food for Education serves over 530,000 school meals every day across Kenya.
The chair of the Gates Foundation and the governor of Gombe State both graced the stage to discuss funding and partnership.
Thank you, gentlemen. We are very much looking forward
to... It's been 25 years of massive investment in Africa by the foundation. However, the chair believes Africa's progress will depend on sustained investment in human capital, especially the youth.
How much that youth can really drive progress will depend on the investment decisions we make in the next 20 years in their health and their education. And so if we prioritize that, boy, there's an unbelievable future.
We had to be ingenious to start using biometric machines to take attendance and monitor the performance of our health workers in their various locations.
Also speaking at the event, President of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, challenges the private sector to step up its role in achieving health self-reliance, particularly in pharmaceutical production.
And what we need to do is to make sure that we stop this health tourism. And we should now get into producing our own drugs, but we need to do partnership with Bill.
While the event is done, it however serves as a reminder that significant challenges remain, but concerted efforts will continue to drive real progress towards a more equitable and prosperous future for all. Chris Elams, Channels Television News.
The second edition of the annual Oluwasegun National Moot Court competition, sponsored by the Olu and Simi Asekun Foundation, has been held at the Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Ogun State, with the aim of promoting global best practices in law among students of law. Participants at the event held at the Dr. Olusegun Asekun Law Resource Center, Faculty of Law, agreed that the competition gives law students an opportunity to give a good account of themselves in law advocacy. The initiator, Dr. Olusegun Asekun, a successful legal practitioner based in the USA, and an alumnus of the university, single-handedly donated a world-class building housing 2 fully equipped moot court rooms complete with judges' chambers and offices to the Faculty of Law in 2023.
It's the grand finale of the prestigious Oluwasegun National Moot Court competition, drawing students from 21 universities across Nigeria. The 2 finalist teams, University of Lagos and Olabisi Onabanjo University, battle it out in an impressive display of legal advocacy, watched closely by legal professionals, scholars, and distinguished guests.
Urging this honorable court to allow this appeal and set aside
tonight's judgment on the trial courts. With the intense courtroom session concluded, attention shifts to the Law Lecture Theatre, where the Dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Bade Akinriade, applauds participants for their confidence, skill, and exceptional performance throughout the competition.
I was extremely impressed by the confidence and clarity of speakers I heard, and by the cogency of the arguments presented and the skillful interaction from the bench. I now know that the future is in very good hands. Amen.
The event also features the official unveiling of a groundbreaking publication expanding the frontiers of law and justice through clinical legal education, African universities and beyond. A 15-chapter, 468-page book authored by legal scholars from across the continent.
Of great note is the simplicity of language used. Anybody can pick this book and read it and understand it. It's not in big lawyers' language. You know, we blow grammar a lot, but you can read it. It's for everybody, academic, non-academic.
Founder of the Olu and Simi Ashekun Foundation and initiator of the competition, Dr. Olusegun Ashekun, reflects on the motivation behind the annual event, while the Vice Chancellor of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Professor Ayodeji Agbola, commends Dr. Ashekun for his dedication, generosity, and commitment to giving back to his alma mater.
Today, we are celebrating him. It's not only the building that you are talking about. He's doing it passionately to make sure that the students that we are producing today can be employable, can also be an employer of labor.
If we have a competition like this that is annual, there is no way annually we need to do something. For example, during this year's competition, the building was repainted. A lot of facilities were fixed. There were adjustments here and there. And more importantly, I had the privilege of practicing law outside Nigeria, and I see things, how the things work over there versus how it works there.
For their sterling performance, Team Unilag emerged champions of the second edition, walking away with a trophy and a cash prize of 2 million naira. The runner-up, host university Olabisi Onabanjo University, received the trophy as well and 1 million naira. Individual awards were also presented to outstanding participants and institutions. Another successful edition of the Moot Court competition ends, not just in celebration, but in inspiration for the next generation of Nigerian legal minds.
That's all from the nation's capital. Back to Anne in Lagos.
Thank you, Terry. Lagos is reaching for the skies, and a new symbol of luxury and ambition is taking shape in the heart of the commercial city. In Victoria Island's Oniru district, Palton Morgan Holdings, through its subsidiary Grenadines Homes, has unveiled what the company says is poised to become one of Nigeria's most iconic high-rise developments. Well, according to the leadership of the company, Paramount Twin Towers is not just promising premium living, it also aims to set new standards in real estate, design, and urban lifestyle.
Major milestone in luxury real estate as Palton Morgan Holdings, through its subsidiary Grenadines Homes, unveils the Paramount Twin Tower site in Victoria Island's Oniru district. The exclusive site tour offers a first-hand look at the development set to become one of Nigeria's tallest residential and commercial landmarks, combining modern design, five-star amenities, and smart technology.
These are twin towers with 160 units in it, with the best facilities and amenities available in the project. What we are doing, we have here like 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom and 3 bedroom, and some are mezzanettes, so the 4 bedroom mezzanettes we have, other than the penthouses here. This project has got two views, two major views. One is the coastal and one is straight away, like Atlantic view. And there is a city view also, yeah? So these are three prime, views of this project. There's so many, other amenities has got, on the podium level, 3rd floor, we have got very big size swimming pool. We have cafes there. We're going to have pharmacy. We're going to have supermarket. We're going to have a bank over here, right? We are going to have a saloon over here. And these are all like high-end amenities that we are integrating in this project.
According to Parton Morgan, 60% of the units are already subscribed as construction is halfway complete, signaling strong market confidence. This development also emphasizes security, accessibility, and sustainability as core features.
It's a very solid construction. We also use the best, and we have also a special external project manager team on board, and they are constantly supervising the quality and the program and the cost of the project. So it's completely safe.
Paramount Twin Towers is one of the ways that Parton Morgan is staying committed to providing a five-star living experience for our customers on a day-to-day basis. The five-star living experience you get from staying in a five-star hotel, you can actually get in your day-to-day living.
The Paramount Twin Towers may still be rising, but they're already reshaping expectations and the skyline of Lagos, with scheduled completion fixed for early 2026.
Continuing the world of business, Willie Ebong is standing by to give us more.
Thank you, Anne. Now, a gathering of academics, private sector players, and U.S. officials was held in Nigeria to discuss deepening commercial and investment ties between both countries. The theme was toward a robust U.S.-Nigeria commercial and investment partnership. U.S. Ambassador Richard Mills used the forum to explain the newly launched U.S. commercial diplomacy strategy for sub-Saharan Africa and reassure participants of strong bilateral relations despite recent global economic concerns stemming from U.S. policy shifts. Now, Nigeria's stock market may be on holiday for the Eid-el-Kabir celebrations, but it has gained nearly 2 trillion naira in just 4 trading days this week. And this comes as the market's benchmark indicator of equities performance. That's the all-share index hit 114,000 for the first time ever on Thursday after closing the day up by 1.63%. At the same time, the market's total value has risen to 72.28 trillion naira, largely due to sustained share price increases from MTN Nigeria, Dangote Cement, as well as 51 gainers, which includes some big banks and industrial giants. Now with that, let's see the performance of other major global markets which are open for business today.
Apologize for not bringing you that. But outside our shores and away from business, U.S. President Donald Trump says that Mr. Elon Musk has lost his mind and that he is not particularly interested in speaking to the tech billionaire anytime soon. Hey, Simon Pease here with more international news and around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
Elon, as a presentation from our country. Thank you, Elon.
Just a week after this, and Donald Trump has threatened Elon Musk's businesses after he continued to criticize Donald Trump's spending bill.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised.
Posting on his own social media site, the US president wrote, "The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts." Tesla's stock price plunged by 14% as a result. After that volley, Mr. Musk called for Trump's impeachment, claiming he was named in the Jeffrey Epstein files and dared him to cut funding for his companies.
But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem.
Russia has launched large-scale drone and missile strikes on Ukraine's capital and other parts of the country early on Friday. Dozens of people were killed and dozens more injured in the strikes, according to Ukraine's president. The aerial raids targeted Kyiv as well as the city of Lutsk and the Ternopil region in the northwest of the country. Russia's defense ministry said the strikes were in response to terrorist acts by the Kyiv regime, adding that it had targeted military sites. Israel has carried out airstrikes in Beirut's southern suburbs, saying it was targeting Hezbollah's drone production. The attack on the eve of Eid-el-Adha, one of the most important celebrations in Islam, followed evacuation warnings for several buildings in the area where Hezbollah is based in the capital. There were no initial reports of injuries. The attack occurred despite a ceasefire being in effect between Israel and the armed group for the past 6 months. Police have released video of a drug bust of a major cocaine smuggling operation that used a network of speedboats to transport drugs from South America to the Canary Islands. Almost 4 tons of cocaine trafficked from Brazil and Colombia were seized and 48 suspects arrested in raids across Fuerteventura, Gran Canaria and Lanzarote. Spain's Policía Nacional said the gang used 11 so-called narco boats to smuggle the drugs across the Atlantic in a complex operation that involved using an abandoned wreck at sea as a refueling platform. Police forces from Europe, the UK, South America and the US were involved in planning the raids, dubbed Operation Black Shadow. Ghana's former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has been placed on Interpol's red notice list for allegedly using public office for personal gain. This comes after Ghanaian prosecutors declared him a wanted person as well as a fugitive from justice, as he was outside the country over his alleged involvement in several corruption cases when he was in government. A red notice is not an arrest warrant, but a request to police worldwide to detain someone pending extradition. Zambia's former president, Edgar Lungu, has died at the age of 68. He had been receiving specialized treatment in South Africa for an undisclosed illness. Lungu led Zambia for 6 years from 2015, losing the 2021 election to the current president by a large margin. Turner's first ever exhibited oil painting is to be put up for auction after being lost for more than 150 years. The Rising Squall features a dramatic view of a former hot spring and spa in Bristol, seen from the east bank of the River Avon. The artwork will be displayed in a public exhibition at Sotheby's in London before it is auctioned with an estimated value of up to £300,000. And David Beckham is set to receive a knighthood in the King's upcoming birthday honours list. The former England football captain was awarded an OBE in 2003 on the recommendation of the then Prime Minister Tony Blair, but is now set to receive further recognition. Beckham, who turned 50 in May, would take on the title of Sir, and his wife, the former Spice Girl Victoria Beckham, would become Lady Beckham. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Many thanks indeed, Simon, and welcome to Sports News. The Super Eagles of Nigeria forced the boys of Russia to a 1-0 draw in the international friendly played this evening at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow. Russia took the lead in the first half after Nigerian midfielder Semi Ajayi mistakenly turned the ball into his own net. And despite the setback, both teams played an intense and evenly matched opening 45 minutes. Nigeria responded strongly in the second half, and forward Tolu Arokodare netted a superb goal, his first for the national team, to bring the Super Eagles level on the night. Top footballer Ange Postecoglou has been sacked as Tottenham Hotspur manager earlier today, just 16 days after the Australian ended the club's 17-year trophy drought by winning the Europa League. But the Australian paid the price for Spurs' worst domestic season since they were relegated from the top flight in 1976-1977. And we look forward to the finals this Saturday and Sunday, the female and male category. That's sports. I'm Kelly Egiga. It's back to Anne.
Thank you, Kelly. And the main news again. More than 2 billion Muslims worldwide have celebrated Eid-el-Kabir, honoring Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice in obedience to God. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Mwawadu. Have a good night rest and happy holidays.